Football fans, we're back. Sims Complete QB podcast. They didn't cancel us yet, Big Phil, but good thing is you control the show, so we're good.
Right? Right. I control.
You wouldn't cancel our own show, right?
You know, I'm one of those fathers that's lost complete control of his son, so I'm just here doing what I can do.
Absolutely.
Filling in the gaps. But, hey, no.
I don't know if you ever really had control of that situation, but that's okay.
Well, at least I like to think I did at one time.
For sure.
You know what's great, though, as we go along here, I feel even more excited about doing these shows and doing this and talking about the quarterbacks coming out in the draft because now I think we know what we want to do, how to talk about them, and really, I think, put a light on them that shows you how good they really are.
Well, just like these quarterbacks, the more reps that they get better at the position. The more reps that we get together, the better we get at this show.
Well, I hope so.
Today we have, we're praying to God. Today we have Hendon Hooker, Tennessee, the volunteer himself.
Wow.
Fantastic film, fantastic career. First thoughts with Hendon. If he's still at Virginia Tech, is he even in consideration right now as a first-round draft pick?
No.
How's
that for a good, concise answer?
It was very good.
He's not. He went to a team with a tremendous offense to design, I think, and, of course, talent, and they exploited his talent by throwing the football, and, of course, he showed us other things besides just throwing the football.
And this is something that is extremely important, too, for the quarterback position and really just for any football player out there, but being focused on the quarterback position today. Environment, timing, the surrounding cast, the coaching staff, being coached at a certain level that's allowing you to take advantage of your athletic skill set at the position is extremely important. It's something that's very underrated when we evaluate and critique these quarterbacks in the NFL today. Hendon Hooker is an example of that. Tremendous athlete, tremendous football player. Transfers to Tennessee, and these last 2 seasons at Tennessee has put up phenomenal numbers.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying about the college quarterback really holds true for the pro quarterback, too.
It does, right.
They need all this surrounding and help. No matter how good you are, you need that. And I did see him at Virginia Tech, and he caught my eye at Virginia Tech. Well, I like this kid. And he'd throw the ball. It looked pretty good. I saw the size, and, he can move. He's probably the second most mobile quarterback in the draft right now. But whatever, I saw that. And then he transferred to Tennessee, so I was anxious. And he kind of fought for the job early his junior year. And, Matt, I don't know what else to say. When I watched him right after the football season, the Super Bowl was over, he really caught my eye. And it was one of the first people I kind of tweeted out about because I go, dang, this Hendon Hooker looks like a first-round draft pick to me.
Yeah, he does. And each and every game got better and better. People have been critiquing a little bit of the hypo offense and how it's so spread out a little bit different and how will he adapt to the NFL game. It doesn't matter. He executed the offense that he was coached to do, that's all you can do in this situation as a football player. The key is when you acquire a football player like him, is to, again, try to adapt your scheme to the skill sets that he does extremely well and to make sure that those skill sets that you saw in the evaluation process translate into your new team in the NFL.
Well, I'll say this. Josh Heupel's offense, we don't know how to grade him.
Yeah.
What does that got to do with anything? In fact, I think the NFL will steal some of the concepts that he has shown.
I agree.
And as I watched it, I see it, it's this kind of strange. Everybody's on the sidelines with the receiver.
We've seen it with the RPO game. We've seen it with a lot of the quarterback stuff in the past with that stuff bleeding into the NFL game, the creativity that way. I agree with you. I think the Josh Heupel offense will now translate into the NFL just because of the splits. And you know what it reminded me of, actually? It was a little bit of the year that Tom Brady and them broke the passing touchdown record for 55.
4 wide receivers.
4 wide receivers. Randy Moss was on the team. They came up short in the Super Bowl that year.
Yep.
But they did a lot of stuff that way where they really spread the field laterally as much as possible and really took advantage of short, quick passes with including some of those downtown shots to Randy Moss. And, it has some similar vibes to it like Tennessee did.
And I didn't think it was predictable. Even though they split out wide, it's easy for the quarterback to see the more you spread the field.
That's true.
So you get to see it more, but putting them out, I saw a lot of you think it's just a couple plays. But every week I'd watch it. Here was a new play to go off against what they'd done, catches the defenses by surprise. And that's why you're going to see, as we watch these highlights, man, there's some guys wide open. Because they're trying to play the play and they get fooled and people run down the field uncovered.
Definitely. But you're going to see quick decision-making, good throws, throws it down the field extremely well, tall in the pocket. We said it earlier before. He's 6'3", but he looks a little bit taller and bigger.
6'5" to me.
Yeah, he's long-limbed, so he's got that ability. Weighs 217 pounds. 10.5-inch hands, so big hands, 24 starts at Tennessee. The total pass attempts at Tennessee were 632, so we got a lot of pass attempts in the SEC, which is always crucial. Wow. And like we said earlier, 3 seasons at Virginia Tech, 2 seasons at Tennessee, so the guy has been, he's gotten a lot of experience, and he's definitely prepared to take that next step.
The running game came from a lot from him, and also they've been running every once in a while just to give Hendon Hooker and let him catch his breath.
For sure.
Because they throw it a lot. But let's look at a few plays and see what we got.
Let's go to the film.
Well, here's a good example. Look up to the left. How close to the what the hell am I trying to say? The boundary the wide receiver is.
So the receiver, exactly right. And this kind of just shows you a little bit he's 3 yards from the sideline. And typically in the NFL, that would be something that is not very common just because the only way that he can go is vertical or into the field. Right. So sometimes the NFL splits seem to be a little bit further away from the line of scrimmage just to kind of have a little bit more deception. But here we're going to start off with just his natural ability to just throw the football down the field with ease and with rhythm. He has the one-on-one here to the left side. Nice smooth drop. Turns and throws an absolute just moonshot into the back corner.
Oh,
well. Great throw. Turns the football over extremely well on deep throws, which I love too, right? Because he's great at just following through the rep every time. Look at those Tennessee uniforms, baby.
Yeah, they look pretty good. But throwing it really high, just a quick point on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Defensive backs hate that because the longer the ball's in the air, they're like, they panic.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I had so many defensive backs tell me that when I was doing games in the NFL. They hated quarterbacks who threw those big, long moon balls. They want that guy that throws those line drives all the time.
And it's something we educate our young quarterbacks on. When we're throwing it deep, when we're taking shots down the field, Marty Moitingweg used to say, it's not a 50-50. It's us, or no one, right? And it's either it's a catch or our receiver's batting it down.
Well, do it in Marty's voice.
In this situation, but we want to throw it deep, right? We want to throw it high. We want to throw it far. We want to give our receivers an opportunity to get underneath the football and to make plays. And he does a fantastic job of that.
All right, Pitt. Oh, another one.
Another shot down the field. Really good throw again, off his back foot, or a lot of that cliche, right? Off your back foot, but really good job of just staying patient, turning back into the throw and getting through it really well.
Well, the one thing, like those people, I said it earlier, when they're wide open, it's because they do run a lot of in cuts and all that stuff. So I'm sure defensive backs, here's the formation where they did this. And they like I said, catches them by surprise. That's why we see these long passes completed a lot.
Definitely.
At Tennessee. Nice turn to throw. Man, he's great throwing these in cuts. Run that back. Here's a point that I want to make. The first person in the NFL, I watched Justin Herbert, and I said it on the set at CBS. Mm-hmm. He throws over the front, the defensive front and people. And you can't say that about many quarterbacks. I mean, they stand in there and they just can throw it over the top. It's no problem. And he's really the first guy I've seen since then that I say that about. I mean, he gets a lot of tight pockets. Here they are. He just stands there, puts that big right arm up over the top and gets it done.
As far as a NFL prototypical model of a quarterback, he does a lot of those things extremely well.
Very well.
And the ability to separate his arm from his body and to get over, bodies around him consistently is where he excels compared to everyone else.
We're going to watch this. Here's 2 things. One, he's a tremendous pocket passer. So that always plays in the NFL. And the other thing is he's very mobile.
Yeah.
So we got everything all compacted into one. If he didn't have that ACL injury on his knee, then I think he would have been maybe a top 10 pick. But he's going to still go high in the draft.
And let's just talk a little technique here. This is exactly just a great position to be in. You see, as he is stepping forward with his left foot, and mind you, just his left foot is stepping forward, but you see the pressure on that back foot, right? And now you see the shoulder, the hip, and the foot. They're going to turn slightly back into that right foot, just like a great baseball hitter would. Right. And here he goes, just nice and smooth. Left foot hits the ground. He transitions forward through the throw, and a really good job staying upright and vertical, rotating through the throw. Back, hip, and foot follow through gracefully. Throws a lot of good clean spirals. Again, I know that you love that, and that's always important for the receivers on the back end of it. Fantastic throw, right in the money.
Easy to catch.
Easy to catch for sure.
Awesome. Good job. I mean,
really good clip.
He tore up Alabama, of course. I think they scored over 50 points against Alabama's defense. Is that right?
Something like that,
Something like that. Well, it was a lot. And
it was a lot.
Oh, once again, this is a really good read, too. So you think, there's two guys back there that could cover the wide receiver on the outside, but he knows where the wide receiver is going. And the safety right up there, point to him, Matt. The safety,
right here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So he can see no matter what. He's not going to be able to turn and run and catch up to the wide receiver. I'm not sure this is Jalen Hyatt, who's going to be a high draft pick, too, at wide receiver.
This is a great example of a play that I think, as you mentioned earlier, will translate kind of into the NFL eventually.
Yeah.
People will start to see these things because this is a very simple play. We got a flat route right here, and we got two goes, basically, right? We got two vertical type of routes down the field. The safety typically is not used to seeing the number 2 receiver this far out wide of the field.
Okay.
And what?
No, it's good.
Well, it just and in this situation, he's ready for an in-breaker, some sort of an adjustment, and you can see right here, Jalen Hyatt just turns the burners on and just runs right past him.
That was him. I thought so, yes.
And it's not like he doesn't make any cut. There's nothing crazy about it. He literally just dives inside the corner's technique and then sprints vertical. And just because of the alignment of the route, he gets wide open over the top.
Well, real quick, one more time. Watch his head. He looks right real quick. And Hendon Hooker does, just to maybe freeze people on defense just for a split second. And he's going to make the RPO look. It looks right, turns around, too late, touchdown. And did you notice when I was questioning Matt, everybody, that he what? Good. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
He was going to get mad at me.
No.
Well, you know what I mean. It's all right. I'm used to all of it. Oh, here we go.
All right, here's the ugliest uniforms in Tennessee history,
gosh.
but it's okay.
Go ahead.
Good example, again, of the wide split. So we have both receivers here outside the numbers. And this is something that they actually crushed Kentucky with multiple times throughout this game. They ran basically a little bit of an in cut, right, or a skinny post or something like that. And then the inside slot receiver here, who was typically, again, tighter, right, but in this situation is wider, just basically ran a wheel route or a shoot route out the back end. And every time the corner just continued to stay hip to hip with the outside receiver and left him wide open down the sideline. Really good throw. But the ability to create a lot of power and to throw the ball vertically down the field, very impressive.
Yeah, it really is. He has power, touch. If I complained about anything about him, I wish he would go ahead and drive the ball, just really drive it with a little more speed sometimes over the middle, even the sideline routes when he throws them. But still, it doesn't matter if he plays this way his whole career. We're all going to say he has a good NFL arm anyway. But here's just look how quick and easy he makes it look. And it really just flicks the ball and throws another really terrific in cut.
Inside zone play action here. Looking left pre-snap. Doesn't like what he sees. Quickly resets back to the right and throws an absolute strike in rhythm over the middle. And him looking left now gets this inside middle linebacker here on the hash to just drift slightly out of the lane.
Just creates a bigger lane for him to throw in.
And then he just throws it perfectly in rhythm again.
Yeah, and I think, too, fans, as you're watching this and all that, just notice how he's just so tall.
He's tall.
And when I read he 6'3", I said, he's every bit of 6'5". But if he's 6'3", he's the tallest damn 6'3" I've seen play quarterback. So, but it really comes in handy. Size is a talent. He's got that going for sure. And we're going to show some running plays later, but once again, just reading. He's got 2-on-2. Look at it. Again, we talked about the Josh Heupel offense. 2 receivers wide. Look at all the space it creates against Alabama. Usually one of the best defenses in college football.
A lot of confusion, right, especially on the defensive side of the football with this offense. But great job, again, of just reading through it, staying calm in the pocket. You see that he's going to get ready to throw this little short hook route here by the slot receiver.
Right.
Does a good job of a quick reset and kind of throws across his body here extremely well and accurate.
Oh, he reloads. Really good.
Really good play.
Well, there's nothing so far. Of course, again, we're not showing what we think are some of his minuses. We kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, let's go into that. What are some of the minuses that you have with Hendon?
Well, I just wish he'd drive the football a little more.
Okay.
In other words, a little more power sometimes. he's a really high release guy, which comes in handy very well in the NFL to throw over the defensive lineman. A lot of times they're very close, and he does that in college football. But, every once in a while, I'd like to see more power. In other words, when you're real high, you're going to pull down. That's why he throws such beautiful spirals. But you want him to, kind of drive this way a little more every once in a while. That would be, honestly, that might be the only knock I have against him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else.
There's not a lot to really not like about him. The experience, the awareness factor is extremely high. Now, it might not be as high as Bryce Young and some of the plays that he makes with his feet and avoiding people and all that, but his athleticism as a runner is for real, hopefully with his recovery from the ACL, which to me, the ACL injury is not quite the same as what it used to be in the past, right?
No,
where it would just
right.
like end your career and all that stuff. The medical doctors have gotten so much better at that stuff now. So I don't see that being like a huge problem for him in years to come in the NFL.
Well, Matt, as you talked about the mobility, we're going to have some of those plays. Then as we watch the mobility part, then that's going to change how everybody thinks about Hendon Hooker. This is a great power throw. Looks left again, resets. Look, running back real quick. Let me just
It's very misleading because he's not putting a lot of effort into the throw, but man, this thing is traveling. And this is where I have for him even a higher ceiling as an NFL thrower going forward. Because I think once he gets in the NFL game more, he sees some of these other guys that he's playing against. Like Aaron Rodgers is a great example. He got better and better each and every year. Yeah. Watching Brett Favre play, what does he do really well to create power? He stole some of his stuff a little bit, made it his own. And I feel like Hendon, as he continues to watch more NFL film with some of these great throwers, he'll start to apply those things too.
Hold it, running back. Two things. Aaron Rodgers changed his throwing motion in his career, so don't tell me you can't change these guys, but watch this. Here we go. Watch his footwork, the little bounce. Just that athletic bounce that keeps him loose and keeps all of his power in the right spot, and just like you said, throws it with ease. Look, his back foot comes off the ground, and I'm sure the defender's like, what the hell's going on here? Where's the safety? It doesn't matter where the safety is. He's not going to get there in time because the ball has a lot of power on it to get to the receiver quickly.
Yeah, well-designed play, good execution again, and that's the thing. He's executing his offense extremely well, and that's all you can ask for him when you're evaluating him.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is here you could see, for all young QBs, because there's this slight obsession right now in the quarterback world of like keeping your back foot in the ground and whipping around like you see Aaron Rodgers do it. And like that's just a throw. That's not the only way you can throw it.
Right.
At the quarterback position, you're like Batman. You need a different throw, on your bat belt for all the different situations you have, right? So in this situation, you see him doing a great job of back shoulder, hip, and foot, following through simultaneously like a great boxer would, throwing at the same rhythm and pace. And this is why he just throws footballs that it doesn't look like he's creating a ton of power, but I mean, this is a 35, 40-yard throw that's...
Come on, it's easy. It's easy. And
16 feet off the ground. I mean, it's moving.
I've made a lot of analogies in my life about throwing and playing football and all that, but I've never done a Batman analogy. But
it's okay. You got to appreciate the Dark Knight. Some of us are just, cooler than others. But number 11 here, double sticks, your boy, Jalen Hyatt here.
Oh, yeah, I like him too. Listen, look at Jalen Hyatt right there. I love skinny receivers. I mean, they just...
How many fat receivers did you play with?
Well, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's...
No wonder you're throwing at Bavaro all the time.
There's a certain... I like that look because it seems like they don't get tired. They don't wear down like bigger guys. I don't know. Just me.
Yeah, I mean, in his process, right, Jalen Hyatt, number 11, so he measured at 6 foot 185. That'll be his question marks, right, in this draft is... This offense doesn't make a lot of NFL type of cuts in the offenses that they run, but the raw ability for sure is there, and that this dude can adapt.
I think all those analogies, that was early. Everybody was complaining about this offense. What's it all about? That's done. Now we see the talent, and that's all we're judging is their talent. Just another good throw, and this is not like they're here. I like this because it's not like they're super wide open, but he trusts his arm, and he does throw. We're not going to have all this, and we're not in control of the highlights here, what we get. But he did make a lot of what I call contested throws into really tight spots against good coverage, and he's not afraid. He's not He's not check down Charlie.
No, he is not.
He's willing to take chances.
But he does make great decisions, and that's something that, you see that application. He's going to be able to do that extremely well at the next level. Inside zone play action, again, does a really good job of resetting back. Another small thing here for young quarterbacks at home when you're watching this, he does a great job of staying open to the play. And what I mean by that, after the fake, he doesn't just swing back and cut himself off to the field. He does a great job of keeping his front shoulder, hip, and foot open to this throwing lane here because he's got to read the hook defender here to the field in this read. So he does a great job of resetting and staying in position to throw and having a great angle down the field for this rep.
Yep.
Right, so you see right there, he doesn't close himself off. Does a great job staying open and stepping and turning in
He did
rhythm.
a little flinch to the outside, which I love too, just to maybe freeze a defender for a split second's all it takes.
Here we go at South Carolina.
Yep. Wow, that was beautiful.
This is a beautiful throw over the middle. Fantastic rhythm. And this is the stuff that you mentioned earlier. The ability to throw over people when there's a lot of people crowded at his lower half here.
Yeah, look at
a lot
this.
of bodies,
Yep.
a lot of congestion. Throw is aggressively down the field. I mean, we're talking about an 18-yard throw here. He throws an absolute strike right in the money.
Well, look, running back as the ball's coming out of his hand real quick, this is anticipation, right on target with the throwing up. But the anticipation here, this is big time because you need to do this in the NFL all the time.
Yeah,
look, where's he throwing it? Oh, this guy's not open. And then he opens up just in time, and the football, like you said, right on target. And once again,
beautiful throw.
A rotation spin. I can't wait. We've talked about it. I can't wait to see him run now. I think we've made the point. This guy can really throw, really knows how to play the game. Oh man!
Well, he's a Tennessee guy, so we gave him a lot of throws on the film. We got to show him some love, some extra love.
And I change my opinion all the time, as I tell you. As I get more information, I'm going to change what I say and do. But even sitting here watching this again with you, which we never have sit down and watched all this stuff, but it makes me think, man, he's got to go in the first round.
He has to.
It's just
what's a team? Let's take a break for a quick second. What is a team that you think could really, take advantage of a young Hendon Hooker and still, obviously with his ACL injury,
right,
giving him some time to get acclimated again to being the great athlete and quarterback that he is.
He'll be ready to play at full speed. I would just guess somewhere during the year.
Yeah.
Teams, Tennessee Titans. What would you do there?
I would love that.
Tennessee Titans. Now you let Ryan Tannehill play, and if things kind of don't go the way you want, then you have a chance to insert him, and he would be their next quarterback. I know they drafted Malik Willis last year.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to ask you.
But Malik Willis is not. You can't put him in the same league throwing the football and how they run an offense. Mm-hmm. He didn't run what I call a pro offense in college. Not the concept. I'm just saying the way he played.
Yeah, I know.
Hendon Hooker, like I said, is a pocket passer. And, they design runs for him. But if you make him run, he will run and do very well at it. But
him and Vrabel, I think that would be a great combination. What's another team, excuse me?
Well, I think the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is Kirk Cousins sitting there. You got McConnell as the head coach. He's an ex-quarterback. He's going to like watching this guy.
He would like that. I think he would do really well in a lot of those play-action schemes that they run, too, pressing the ball down the field. I love that matchup a lot, too.
And he's going to give him the other plays, running the football, which you don't even plan for. He's just going to, I don't like it, let's go.
Agree.
Now, Kirk Cousins throws the ball really well, but he's going to sit there and wait for the last second and let himself get hit to let somebody come open because running the football and being
The Falcons are another team that maybe interests me a little bit. What about the Lions, too? Because some people have thrown the Lions out there as a team that's looking for a quarterback.
In the first round, I can't see that.
Yeah,
I mean, Jared Goff had a tremendous year. The offense was great. And we're already, we got to get a quarterback for the – he's still young.
Yeah.
It's everybody – and I'm not taking – we do it too. But everybody, writers and people on TV always want to drive the quarterback narrative. I mean, sometimes I go, wow, 20 teams need to draft a quarterback in the first round here?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
But no, I would not even mess with that, so –
This is a great play design right here, going back to the film. So Tennessee does a good job of they have essentially like a cheated bunch set here. but they're including the running back into the concept. So number 80 is going to press vertical. He's going to occupy the corner and the safety as much as he possibly can. Number 88 here off the hip of the tackle.
Right there, yeah.
He is going to go kind of and occupy the flat defender. And then the running back number 2, he's going to go up the seam and then break to the corner. Really good play design. Putting a lot of people in binds, breaking rules, which is always important.
Yep.
Really simple read, good throw, in time and in rhythm.
Beautiful. It really is. All right, let's move ahead and see if we can see some. Oh my gosh, wait, we got to see that too.
Well, this is the problem, right? When we watch the film here, you just, it's tough.
Well, I think it's too getting highlight. We're getting highlight play, but here's just once again to reinforce what you say. People around him, he doesn't care.
Inside zone play action. People bearing down on him, and not only just people, but
oh wow. Well,
Elijah Cansey, who's going to be a first-round defensive tackle, in his face. And, I mean, it's unbelievable the position that he is in right now. I mean, literally, guard is in his lap. Defensive tackle is in his face. It is a great job of just getting his arm over the top. Perfect spiral again, despite being hit. Fantastic throw.
That's where we talk about all this. That's where big hands can be a tremendous plus.
Yeah.
Because he can just hold it in his hand and work it with his hand and flick it, do whatever when he's under pressure.
But red zone runs is something that with him, again, you could take advantage of that more so than people, I think, like to give him credit for right now.
Right.
Here's a great job of just a little delayed draw.
Wow.
But look at the moves right here.
Well, I think some of the mobility is not talked about, Matt, just because of the injury. So they're not talking about his mobility out there. But look, that mobility is going to come back.
Yeah.
And I've seen many guys. I'll give you a great example. Adrian Peterson, when he hurt his knee, whatever, he came back bigger, faster than he ever was just because of all that rehab and what you do.
Yeah.
And this could be the point with him, too.
Another great scramble. Takes off and runs. You see the acceleration, too, in the open field. Makes a lot of people miss, which I like.
Yep, he does.
He's very slick that way as far as the way that he runs. He protects himself extremely well, too. It also helps, right, with the splits of this team. He had a lot of open lanes, but you see he's outrunning 51 here pretty impressively to the sideline. Does a good job protecting himself. I like how the ball boy was making sure that he didn't give the Florida sideline the business too much.
But this part is really underrated with him as
Another
far
great
as the
run
mobility.
versus LSU.
Yeah. You know what? And
those are great runs right there. I mean, that's a run for 8 or 9 yards on a play where people are covered well, and those are backbreakers for defenses.
I probably watch, not every Tennessee game, because they're always on Saturday afternoons. I'm watching them all. But I didn't realize this until I started watching these quarterbacks for the draft. I go, damn, I didn't know Hendon Hooker was this mobile.
Yeah.
And, so that's been a big surprise to me, and I think for everybody.
Well, it's the highlights, too, because when you watch the highlights of the game. And,
it's all throws,
you know, I love ESPN at times, but sometimes they only show like 2 highlights, and then they go to people like you and I just talking, heads, just debating crap. But, you see right here, like, the balance of their team and him at the position was extremely important to their success. And here's another play, too, a little quarterback draw, showing that example right through the teeth of the defense.
Wow. Yeah, just let these go. This is great. I just want to see him one run after another. You got pretty excited about it. Oh, zone read.
Zone read in the low red zone again.
Oh, wow.
Great cut.
Against Missouri.
Woo! Rocky Top, baby. All right, so that was enough film for today.
Yeah, it was
for that.
But it's plenty film on him. I mean, I think, and too, it's not even really like sitting here and we just showed you highlights. I'm telling you, when you watch him, it's hard to find times in games where he's not throwing the ball or making plays. You just go, wow, that's really good. That's NFL good.
Yeah.
And I think it took a while for everybody in the NFL not the NFL, for everybody evaluating quarterbacks. It just took too long for them to get there. And I think most people do have him going late in the first round, but it could, injury, quarterbacks, guys fall, whatever. I mean, it's possible he could go high in the second round.
Yeah, and the team needs that the mock projections are different than what the actual team thinks they need.
Oh, yeah,
and that's
course.
always varies. But with Hendon, and this is not being a homer or anything like that, I think there really are less question marks with him as a quarterback than some other guys that are maybe ranked ahead of him.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, an important thing to say, because dude's got the experience, he's got the talent, he's got the athleticism. He's a great leader, high character. The team loves him, the coaches love him. It's just fantastic ambassador for the University of Tennessee. It's just there's so many positives about him, very little negative when you go back and look at his career. And did things right at Virginia Tech too. So it's something that he did it in two places, and if he did it in two places, that means that it's true.
Yeah. Last thing, my last point is this. I have to add them up. Okay. 58 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 2 years.
Pretty crazy.
I don't care if they all fall down on defense. Those numbers are hard to put up.
Yeah. With that, we'll leave it at that. Hendon Hooker, fantastic career at Tennessee. Rocky Top, baby. Man, really look forward to seeing where he goes in the draft.
Yep.
That's a player that definitely, if I was a GM, I would be looking to steal this quarterback earlier rather than later. I think he is an absolute day one starter if he was healthy in the NFL.
Maybe as few questions about him as there are just about with any of the quarterbacks in the draft.
For sure.
There's a lot of question marks. To me, his only big question mark is the knee. That's
Definitely. All right, so we'll come back. We're going to go back to DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and then Max Duggan for the next episode, and we'll be back breaking down the quarterbacks for this year's draft.